Palma. Oh,
man.
that's unfair, man. Palma, 7 points in the game.
To Del Fuentes.
Oh, wow.
Delgado makes the shot and knocks it down. Malonia is open. 3-pointer.
Oh, my goodness.
Isang jumper by Robby Celis. Natalliero has time. Just posterized by
We travel 100 kilometers plus up north at nagbabalik po ang liga ng bawat Pilipino dito po sa Amalig in Orion, Bataan as we set up for another triple header this Friday. And we begin festivities with the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguard Season 4 champions as they try to ramp up their campaign in their mission to get a championship. Kalaban nila itong Parañaque na nangangailangan ng panalo, no, just to end their season on a high note. Yan po yung ating first game, followed by Davao Occidental Tigers versus the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. And in our main game, the One Bataan Risers will square off against the Bacolod Tubo Slashers. Magandang hapon mga kaliga, Ken Pangilinan with Coach Mike Perez. And Coach Mike, Nueva Ecija assured na, no, at the playoffs and they're gunning for their second championship. Ano sa tingin mo yung mga kailangan pa nila ayusin moving forward?
Well, I think having seen the game yesterday of Abra, I'm sure Coach Don Dule was able to pick up some things, and he did say na, you know, magandang mapanood yung mga top teams rin, so that they understand getting into the playoffs. Ito yung mga kailangan nilang daanan. It's a critical path actually to their run for a title this season.
And you're watching us live on the official MPBL YouTube channel and also on Solar Sports every Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And live din po tayo ngayon on pusop.com. And also we have at courtside later on, we'll hear from Miss Andrea Endicio. But first, Coach Mike, no, very important games yesterday. We were in Caloocan at the Caloocan Sports Complex. And we saw there, Coach Mike, nung unang laban, Jensan na ipanalo kontra Bulacan. Abra, on the other hand, in a battle for possibly the number 1 spot, tinalong San Juan and Ilagan Isabela beating Caloocan on their home floor.
Well, a couple of those games actually, that Abra over San Juan. San Juan was pretty much in it until, you know, that late run and recovery by Abra. Pretty much, you know, securing number 1 para dito sa North Division. Itong Abra there in that race for the number 1 spot in the North. Samantalang itong Ilagan, boy, that win really solidified their spot so far in the top 10 in the North Division.
And makikita natin yan, no, sa ating updated team standings, where in the South Division, Quezon is already assured of the number 1 spot. Magulo pa rin in terms of yung 2, 3, 4 all the way to number 8. But yung number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, pinaglalabanan yung last 2 remaining slots for that play-in.
Yeah, and which really makes for yung run on this division of the South pretty much unpredictable, except for yung Quezon na number 1 na nga. That's a good range or spectrum of teams na humahabol sa magandang posisyon para dito sa kanilang playoff.
Tutungo naman tayo sa North Division where we see, again, top 3 teams. Although Abra has that inside shot of finishing as the number 1 team. Pero yung 4, 5, 6, 7, Coach Mike, magulo rin, no? And only those top 3 teams will advance outright to the playoffs.
Yeah, pretty much. And itong top 3 teams natin, namely Abra, Nueva Ecija, and San Juan, really in a tight battle for that number 3. Getting that inside track in number 1. Of course, itong Abra having won yesterday against San Juan. And again, katulad dun sa pinag-usapan natin sa South, medyo malaking spectrum, lalo na sa race dun sa top 4 para dito sa Norte.
Ilagan Isabela, dahil sa panalo nila kahapon, assured at that number 8 spot. Pero pag-usapan muna natin itong Nueva Ecija, and one guy who has really stepped up lately, coming off the bench, Jammer Hamito. And alam naman natin, Coach Mike, he is a starter if ever nasa ibang kupunan siya, but here, kahit pa off the bench, maganda yung nagiging production niya para sa Rice Vanguards.
Well, let's just say that Jammer has woken up for the second straight game, earning the best player of the game honors, having helped Nueva Ecija to get a blowout win. And the numbers of 14 points, 10 of them having in the first half, and a 7 of 9 field goals, as well as 7 rebounds, really pretty much above his usual numbers. And so, having Jammer Amito perform at this level will surely be a big boost on the bigs department para dito sa Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguard as a backup, of course, to Will Macalon.
Maganda kasi, no? Kahit pa off the bench, walang masyadong drop-off for Nueva
That's right.
Ecija. But on the other side, isa ring kaliwete ang namamayagpag lately for the Parañaque Patriots. Well, ito si Shaq Alanes na acquire nila, no, during the free agency and trade window, Coach Mike. He has been scoring despite the struggles nitong Parañaque, and well, alam naman natin hirap sila in terms of producing at a high rate, but here Shaq Alanes against Sarangani still with 22 points.
And if there's one thing that he's proven is that he's one of the really bright spots para dito sa Patriots despite their record this season. And then 22 points, 14 of them in the first half on a pretty okay 9 of 17 shooting, 5 rebounds, and impressive 9 assists. You'd like to think Shaq Alanes is more of scoring. Think about assists as he had 9 in that game.
Alright, it's Nueva Ecija versus Parañaque in our first game. Punta na natin si Richard Tampos for our starting lineups.
Welcome to another exciting triple header here at Kamalig Sports Complex, Orion, Bataan. Our first match of the day is Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards versus Parañaque Patriots. Live on Pusupi and YouTube channel. Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Season 7. Let's carry on the starters. Up first, the MPBL Season 4 champions, Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. At guard number 2, JP Calvo. Forward number 8, Robbie Celis. Shooting guard number 11, John Wilson. Playing center number 14, Will Macaloni. Forward number 25, MJ Ayay. Their head coach, Don Dulay, assisted by Rob Wainwright, Matt Magalindal, Arnold Oliveros, Jonathan Wailuan, Rick Season, and Jesse James Bartolome. Assistant team manager, Jen Dignadice. Team manager, Raymond Dizon. Team owners, Ivan Cuevas, Ryan May Cuevas, and Bong Cuevas. Here's for Parañaque Patriots. Playing center number 30, Justin Padua. Guard number 39, Shaq Alanes. Shooting guard number 37, Paulo Castro. Forward number 15, Jomar Santos. Also at forward number 6, Wilson Baltazar. They are led by Melky Villanueva, assisted by Joseph Abaya, team manager, Joel Mendoza, team owners, Jamal Biscara, and Honorable Joan Villapuerte. Referees for this ballgame are Lester Arcega.
Starting unit for Nueva Ecija, John Wilson, JP Calvo, Will Macaloni, MJ Ayaay, and Rob Celis. Parañaque, ang magsisimula para sa kanila sila Shaq Alanes, Paulo Castro, Justin Padua, Wilson Baltasar, and Jomar Santos. Our officials for this ball game, John Arcega, Leonardo Leosa, Jackson Mabandos, and Mark Rancundo. And because Parañaque only has 8 players, itong Nueva Ecija will be awarded with a technical free throw. So ano sila Coach Mike kulang-kulang unfortunately itong Parañaque Patriots. So nabiyayaan agad ng isang puntos itong Nueva Ecija, hindi pa nagsisimula yung jump ball.
Yeah, and that's a tough part of having to start the game. Short of manpower ka na nakuha na ka pa ng free throws kagad to start the game. And that really is a penalty that we give to teams who do not have enough manpower on the roster for their games.
And when you notice yung starting unit ng Nueva Ecija lately, well, pareho pa rin, no? Yung power forward and center spots filled by Rob Celis and Will Macaloni. But, well, the adjustment of Coach Don Dulay in terms of starting JP Calvo, John Wilson, and MJ Ayaay in favor of the Marcelino twins and Byron Villarias, who started the first few games for them before they incurred those losses.
This really is a situation where coaches would get that leverage of, really good players coming off the bench if others start elevating their game. And I like to think that JP Calvo has been, that kind of player para dito kay Don Dula. Really, for the most part, itong si JC has started in a lot of the games. Roughly about 15 starts and 19 naman para 15 para kay JB, and JC started about 19 of their 24 games that they played. And so to be able to shift over to JP Calvo, as you see that basket by Will Macaloni, nakakapag-observe yung Twins kung ano ang takbo ng game, and at the same time you got really good fresh turbo legs coming off the bench for Coach Don Dulay.
JP Calvo making his 8th start. Jack Alanis making that shot for the Patriots. MJ Ayaay misses on the jumper. Rob Sell is there to clean it up.
And Rob, I feel, is one of the key players. There's a lot of them actually on the side of the Rice Vanguards, but come playoff time, there will be certain key players that will be because of cross matches and different players from different teams that they will go up against, where I feel Rob Celis can really match up to almost anyone.
Justin Padua nailing that 3-point shot top of the key. Macaloni got fouled, and he will head to the line for 2 free throws.
And because they are short on manpower, talagang kinakailangan magsona itong Parañaque Patriots.
3-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
So that time he got that ball on the top, the defense was pretty much on drop coverage. And like what coaches always tell you, you catch it, you're unguarded, you shoot it.
Coach Don Dulay, he knows what's at stake this season for Nueva Ecija. Pretty much since they won the championship back in Season 4, it's championship or bust for the Rice Vanguards.
Well, I think that's been the theme almost every year para dito sa Rice Vanguards. And this is always going to be a deep playoff run team. They really just fell short last season. And so with so much preparations that they've done and the new guys that have come in for the Rice Vanguards, and of course, yung mga players really fitting in now to the system of Coach Don Dulay, it really is the expectation that they come off with the title this season.
Tweety for free. Tomar Santos from the left corner gives Parañaque its first taste of the lead, 8-6.
Ito mga pagkakataon para sa mga players like Tweety Santos to use this, remaining games of the Patriots to be like, a tryout for next season. Hopefully, the efforts that they show here would be enough to get the nod of the other teams and for them to be joining those teams as well.
Tomar Santos mas malayo pero mintis, pero naagaw niya yung bola after that wayward pass by John Wilson. Chuck Alanis may tangan ng bola. Pinasa niya kay Wilson Baltasar, guarded by John Wilson. Tweety Santos. Nice cut inside. Paulo Castro will lay it in.
We talk about players that could possibly use this as a tryout. That definitely is one of them. Paulo Castro, good perimeter jumper, got good head on his basketball IQ. Could be one of those guys for the Patriots that might be picked up next season by other guys. Little good slip action right there. No rim protection down the middle. Everybody was focused on the perimeter guys. Just an easy left-handed finish for Paulo Castro.
You are still watching the MPBL. Even if they are facing a bottom-seeded team like today, Coach Don Dulay opted to use the same lineup para nga dito sa Nueva Ecija. Ang rason niya, he wants to prepare his players not just physically but mentally para sa palapit na playoffs. Kumbaga, dapat in full focus and condition na sila ngayon pa lang. One more thing na gusto niyang i-address prior to the playoffs is team communication, especially on the defensive end. There could be some different mix-ups pero hindi niya na masyadong ginagalaw ang kanyang lineup. It's because he wants his current roster to build better communication because even in an all-star environment, sabi nga niya, these things are not automatic. Ito yung mga bagay na you need to give time to establish. Ken and Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Andrea. Yun agad yung napansin ko din Coach Mike kasi, well, if you look at it, Nueva Ecija pretty much will not fall down to, actually, top 3 finish na yung pinag-uusapan dito. Possibly number 2, number 1. They're facing off the lowest winningest team in the league in the Parañaque Patriots. But yet, you see their lineup right now, all of the players that are heavily involved in their championship quests nandito, and that speaks volumes to how Coach Don Dulay is approaching this as they try to chase for another title.
That is right. And pretty much that's the important part of, you're a deep playoff run team. You're the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. You started out really strong this season, and also you want to finish it real good.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL.
Kaya naman pag tinignan mo yung mga previous games nitong Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards after that 1-point loss to Quezon, which is something they felt that they got out of their hand because of that 3 by Diego Dario. You look at their next few games, which are lower seeded teams, they were winning by an average roughly of 30 to 35 points. And so that to me is giving a statement that, hey, you're going up against the Rice Vanguards. We don't mind who you are. We're just going to continue to play the Rice Vanguards basketball and see how further it takes us in the game and hopefully this season.
But you saw Coach Don Dulay. He took an early timeout when Parañaque took the lead. And alam naman niya na kailangan talaga kung ano man yung mga perceived weaknesses ng kanyang kupunan, kailangan ayusin niya ngayon.
Mahirap kasi pumasok ka sa playoff. You have that level of complacency, na parang, well, we're fine. We're already in it. We're in a good spot. No worries about these other teams that we're going up against. Wala rin naman silang chance na mahabol tayo. Relax na lang tayo, guys, at take the game easy. You cannot put it that way. Primarily because as you head into the playoffs, you want to have a really good momentum. You bring that energy and that confidence as you fight the more important battles deeper into the runs.
And you're seeing now Nueva Ecija trying to pick up the intensity. JV Marcelino stealing the pocket earlier of Shaq Alanes and scoring on the other side. Nueva Ecija in top, 14-12.
No, and I'm pretty sure as you see this between the legs right there by Shaq Alanes. Well, that was a very timid between the legs against one of the really good stealers of the Rice Vanguards. And you get your pocket pick. You got to make sure that you be able to defend it, and definitely you made them pay.
Baltasar's three-point shot will not drop. Manaytay gives it inside to Jammer Hamito, who will score once again for Nueva Ecija.
Now, how important is Jammer Hamito to this Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards? I think we saw a glimpse of that when they went up against Quezon, and I feel even in those games that they went up against, I think it was Abra. After Will Macaloni, it really is Jammer Hamito. So it's, I guess, imperative for Jammer Hamito to be that other big man that would help back up si Will Macaloni.
JV tries a free. It will not work. Paulo Castro secures it for Parañaque. Approaching the 3-minute mark of the first period. Parañaque behind by 4. Alanes rejecting the ball screen. Will flip it up and in off the glass.
And I'm sure Coach Don Dulay would want it to have more, I guess, pressure on that defense, on that drive by Shaq Alanes. Pretty much after rejecting that ball screen and going that right side of the lane for that finish going glass. Didn't even wait for that screen to get in. That was a good stunt from the corner. Why was that John Wilson or Billy Robles? But Shaq still able to finish.
16-14. Manaytay will score against yung kakapasok lang na si Kent Giab. 18-14. Witty Santos bring the ball down.
And how important is that to have Christian Manaytay be operating on the elbows? We've always talked about it. You control the elbows, pretty much you control the game. And you put him out there with a little flex action on the other end, really just brings in solo coverage. And that pretty much is going to be an advantage that Christian Manaytay is going to take every time that's available.
Castro, laban kay JC Marcelino. Ito may ball pressure, no?
Yeah.
Lalo sa backcourt. Wilson Baltasar. The pass intended to Kent Giab, but Billy Robles caught holding, and he will be whistled for a foul.
Well, I thought Kent Giab was the one holding up. But then si Billy Robles. Billy Robles on that switch anticipated that ball was going to go to that short roll by Kent. And as he went up with that right hand raise, his left arm rather, really got pulled down. But referee saw otherwise, felt that left arm of Billy was really an extension, and so that foul got called on him.
Allen Papa, siya may taka ng bola laban kay Robles. 6 seconds sa kailang shot clock. Bola na agaw ni Christian Manaytay. Christian Manaytay will slam it down with his left hand.
And that is the kind of energy that you expect from a Christian Manaytay. Regardless kung sino ang kalaban mo, Christian, and for the entire Rice Vanguards for that matter, you gotta finish strong as you go to the cup.
Nakita mo na eh. May buwelo. Kahit onte. Yun lang kailangan niya, Coach Mike, for him to soar and score.
That's right. You give him that momentum going downhill, di mo ini-stop ball, talagang yun ang karga niya.
JC high off the glass and in. Nice passing there between those three players. Sa kabilang dako, Shaq Alanes pinilit. Got blocked by Billy Robles. Allen Papa straight away free, will bounce out. Bola nakuha ni Jammer Hamito.
Really just one and done for the Patriots that time. No offensive rebounds. Oh boy, that's space though.
Nakatakas at nakapuntos ito si JV Marcelino.
With those couple of turbo jets on the floor for the Rice Vanguards, and your team having only 8 players, you gotta be ready full length of the floor in the entire game na conditioning na magiging kalaban mo dito.
Play broken up by the Rice Vanguards. Billy Robles, dire-derecho, mintis. Jammer Amito with a putback to give Nueva Ecija a 12-point lead.
Nakikita mo naman si Jammer Hamito, sigurado nang pupunto sila doon. Pero again, yung base sa paraan ng paglaro natin, kailangan may tumakbong big man para makatulong at masecure yung rebound kung sakaling mamintis. And yun nga ang nangyari, napulot ni Jammer Hamito yung mintis ni Billy Robles, and he got that ball in again.
Nueva Ecija forcing a rush shot from Parañaque, and now they get an opportunity to lay the last shot of the quarter. JV gets into the paint, finding his brother JC, and Nueva Ecija with a strong finishing kick para dito sa ating first quarter.
Well, at some point in the game, the Patriots actually shot 50% from the field, including this three right here that was knocked down early on that drop coverage. Shaq Alanes, a little bit timid on that between the legs and got stolen on the backcourt. And another score for the Rice Vanguards, really making those defensive advantages turn into points on their end. Christian Manaytay has been a bundle that's provided that energy so far for the Rice Vanguards as they are up by 14, 28, and 14.
Byron Villarias and JC Marcelino both scored in double figures in that last win against Quezon City. 15 points for Toto, 11 points naman para kay JC. Both shooting at a high clip. And Byron coming off the bench. And for more, let's go to Andrea.
JV Marcelino spoke about how well-adjusted he is as well as his brother JC here in Nueva Ecija. Ang biggest factor daw dito ay yung professional environment na kahit maraming mas veterano sa kanilang dalawa, maraming star players, lahat marunong pa ring makinig sa isa't isa. But speaking of Nueva Ecija being a team filled with stars, I asked JV, kanino kayo ni JC pinakahumahanga dito sa Nueva Ecija? The name Byron Villarias was given. Bakit nga ba si Toto? Kwento ni JV, si Toto kasi daw yung tipo na kahit gaano katagal mawala o hindi maka-ensayo dahil sa injury, ginugulat na lang sila dahil pagbalik niya, ganun ulit yung shooting ni hindi kinakalawang, hindi nawawala. Well, all we can say is, sana all, right, Ken and Coach Mike?
Oo nga. Sana all. Parang si Andrea, no? Parang late na dumating. Parang di kinakalawang sa pag-courtside, no? But, well, speaking volumes here, Byron Villarias, I mean, this guy is just a professional scorer, Coach Mike. Kahit pa matagal yan mawala, man, the shooting touch and the scoring spree, hindi talagang likas sa kanya, Coach Mike. But we see here, Parañaque finally stopping the drought. Kent Giab scores and a foul whistled against Nueva Ecija.
And totoo naman yun. And when you say Andrea came in late, you really mean that mid-season na naka-join ulit sa atin si Andrea.
Nagpas pa nga eh.
Oo nga. Pero again, going back to John Wilson, it really is ano na siya kay Byron Villarias, it really is, in my opinion, muscle memory and a lot of preparation that he brings to that art of shooting from the outside, and JC Marcelino knocking down his own three, and somehow it rubs on to your teammates.
Lumaki na ulit yung lamang ng Nueva Ecija, 33-17. 16-point advantage for the Rice Vanguards. Kim Singo, bagyang nawala sa kanya yung bola, recovers, jacks up a free off the mark. JC Marcelino, the pass to Robles inside. Jam Ramito scores, 26 bench point para dito sa Nueva Ecija. Imagine, Coach Mike, no? 26 of the 35 points all coming off the bench.
Yeah, pretty much. That to me is, an important part of how you really want to play the game.
Fast Break the Game is brought to you by Extreme X Pop, personal karaoke speaker every day. Karaoke.
And you cannot be too dependent on your starters. The guys off the bench have really got to produce for you.
Actually, the entire bench
Yes.
of Nueva Ecija is outscoring Parañaque right now, although Tweety Santos scores a bucket inside, 35-19. 16 ang lamang ng Rice Vanguards. Kent Giab giving up a foul.
And that's a good development for the Rice Vanguards. No? Lately, that number has really gone up, primarily because of JP Calvo accepting the role of being a starter and the starting point guard and allowing the twins to come off the bench, including other guys like Jammer Ramito naman na nakatulong na sa mga off-the-bench scoring. And kaya ngayon, pangilan na sila, parang they're currently at number 8 in terms of bench points, roughly about 44 points they get from their players na galing sa bench. Almost half of their points really come from the bench.
Ito yung galaw kanina ni Tweety Santos. Tapang kay Robbie Celis. Tough angle, no?
Oo, yun nga sasabihin ko sana nakita niya, sarado na yun, pero pagpihit niya, nagulat rin siya na hindi maganda yung angle, pero naitapos pa rin. Shaq Alanes right now returning the favor after getting the ball stolen from him earlier in the first quarter.
Nagmamadali si JV at bakit nga naman hindi, nahanap niya si Rob Celis sa ilalim for 2 more points.
And just no defense right there in interior para sa Patriots. Everybody had their hand down, and they saw that Rob Celis was right there on the middle with the ball being handled by Marcelino. Somehow you understand you gotta stop that ball.
Fast Break of the Game is brought to you by Extreme X Play on the go speaker. Take your music anywhere.
And that's just basketball smarts for Shaq Alanes. You know that ball is on the wing, it's not getting to the post. There's high probability they're gonna return it upstairs. And understanding that, just went in the passing lanes and able to get that deflection and that steal and the basket the other way.
JP Calvo pass outside to JC Marcelino. Can't hit the free. Ball was batted out by Rob Celis. John Wilson coming in for the Rice Vanguards. Former MPBL MVP, replacing JC Marcelino.
Well, that was another guy that surely, when that defense in the playoffs starts getting more paint focused, those threes are gonna be open for John.
Dami ng fast break points sa Nueva Ecija. 14-2 edge in that department. They are number 1. Actually, number 3. For a time, they were at number 1 for so long.
That's right. For a time, they were at number 1. But I guess one of the things that really they focus, especially later in this in their latter games, really was half-court execution. And so if they don't have that run, they definitely will look at it. And yan ang nga sinasabi natin, no? Hindi kinakalawang na Byron Villarias.
Tres agad, pinakawalan ni Big Bang Toto. 40-21.
Actually, si Byron, isa na yan sa mga minove nila over to the bench. Eh. Normally, starter yan si Byron for the most
Yun nga.
in the early of the season where he kadalasan ang unang puntos ng Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards is yung 3-pointers ni Byron Villarias.
Kasi sama-sama sila dyan nila JC at JV.
Correct.
They were starting games together to begin the season. As Byron Villarias sets up Rob Celis underneath. 42-24.
Yeah, and on that zone, every time you see that ball on the ball side of the floor, that opposite elbow guard got to drop down, and you know he practically is the X-man. He's got 2 guys on him. And kung sino makareceive ng bola, yun ang unang kukunin niya. Pero yun, hindi nila nakita sa kabila. Nandun na si Rob Celis sa ilalim at napakadaling puntos para sa Rice Vanguards.
Team 5, butata, inabot niya kay Rob Celis.
Rob Celis, make no mistake about it, he's number 1 when it comes to blocks for the Rice Vanguards at 1.4 per game. And you know who the next guys in there? It's Christian Manaytay. Be close to 1 block per game. Another block right there, this time by Will.
Macaloni sidesteps his way to the basket but could not convert. 42-24. Halfway point of the second period. Jacques Alanes sidesteps his way into a free, knocks that one down.
That pretty much is confidence right there. And when we talk about Byron Villarias making those shots from 3, I guess you could say the same for Jacques Alanes.
JP Calvo straight to the cup and will earn himself 2 free throws.
And because you see this 3 right here,
3-point shot natin sa atin ng Extreme, their one-stop shop appliances.
look away 3 yun actually para kay Jacques Alanes. Ganun siya kakumpiyansa sa tira niya. I was gonna say about JP Calvo, since he started for the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, he's actually become their leader when it comes to assists, roughly at 5.2. Before that was held by Marcelino and Rob Celis. Right now, they're second and third when it comes to assists.
JP Calvo, who is facing off against his former team, started the season with Parañaque. Actually, really struggled with the Parañaque Patriots. Ito si JP Calvo as Villarias whistled for that foul. Pero yun na siya na yung naging lead guard para dito sa Nueva Ecija. Talking about JP Calvo.
And I think that's been the plan all along. You know, to softly and smoothly get him into that rhythm of being the lead point guard. Similar to how, in my opinion, Marvin Taiwan has performed for the Abra Weavers. I strongly feel that with the progress and the elevation on the game of Marvin Taiwan, that is really one of the primary reasons why they've got this win streak right now.
Wilson missing on a 3. Nueva Ecija is in the driver's seat, 43-27, under 4 minutes left in the second period. Santos free will not drop. JP Calvo escaping the defense of Baltasar. Bounce pass to Will Macaloni in stride. And another foul will be called against the Patriots.
No, that's one of the things that you like about Will Macaloni. Every time on a downhill, and he's rim running with those other players on the floor, talagang kaya niyang ibaba yung bola sa heg para makakreate.
Itong free throw na ito, atid sa atin ng Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Macaloni na ipasok, kanyang unang free throw. 2 for 2.
Third in points, second in rebounds, 56% from the perimeter, close to 70% from the line. And that's just, the kind of contribution that you're getting from your big man in Will.
Bola na agaw na naman ng Nueva Ecija. Celis connecting with John Wilson.
And when you look at those three players in the backcourt causing that turnover, you see JP Calvo, Rob Celis, and John Wilson. Those three really manning the backcourt, and Rob Celis being unselfish in that good dish over to John Wilson for that layup finish.
20 ang lamang ng Nueva Ecija. Timeout Parañaque. Nueva Ecija beating Quezon City, but what you like about this one, Coach Mike, if you're Nueva Ecija, you just held Quezon City to a record low 9 points in the second half.
Yeah, pretty much. And they shot the ball well. If there's really one, I guess, department that Coach Don Dulay would have loved to perform better for the Rice Vanguard, there's only just one stat line, and that's the free throws. They shot only 63% from there out of the 19 attempts that they've done. And clearly, Coach Don understands, hey, come the playoffs, these free throws are going to be a crucial factor in the results of games for us.
Ganyan din nangyari sa Quezon City. Nakadikit pa nga yung Quezon City, 29-26. But since then, they were able, talking about Nueva Ecija, they were able to outscore Quezon City, if my math is correct, 65-12.
Yes.
Di ba?
Yes. And, having trailed by as much as 57 points in a game, and quarters where they scored only like 9 points through the entire second half, while giving up a total of 44
Yun nga eh.
to the Rice Vanguards. And games are decided in quarters 3 and quarters 4. And so, especially in quarters 4, really a lot of adjustments and tweaks, especially in close games, would matter a lot in the second half.
Foul against Parañaque. They are in penalty. So 2 shots coming up for Will Macaloni once again. Kabilang siya sa nagkampiyon back in Season 4. Three-time All-MPBL first team and All-Star. Naipasok kanyang unang free throw.
And I'm sure to see Will Macaloni, considering, despite the win against Quezon City, would really want to be performing better, because in that game he shot only 37% from the field and he's made only 1 out of 2 free throws. He did get 7 points though, but you don't understand, he's so much better than that. I mean, lalo na for rebounds. And he really is a guy that, in my opinion, could help out, start transition with those defensive rebounds, and at some point even the offensive boards.
Backcourt laban kay Wilson Baltasar. Woes continue for Parañaque.
At saka yan, yung mga bagay na ganyan, if you're gonna keep putting that ball near the half-court line and you're very timid at bringing the ball down, yan ang mangyayari.
10 turnovers na nga laban sa Parañaque.
Kaya mas mabigat pa niyan, Ken, dyan sa 10 turnovers na yan, 15 puntos ang nakuha nitong Rice Vanguards.
Puro live turnovers kasi.
Oo.
Di ba?
Samantalang itong Patriots, nakaisa lang sila na nakascore sila ng points of turnovers. That was the steal of Shaq Alanes earlier, which turned out to be a fast break point the other way.
Foul laban kay Kim 5. So tutungo na naman sa 15-foot line si JP Calvo, former Letran Knight. First free throw good for JP Calvo.
And it's very important for JP Calvo to, from this point on, to really be embracing that role of being the starting point guard, because he will set the tone for the games. And you know, the more that he continues to be that consistent point guard to start with, the better it is for the Twins. The better it is for Coach Don and the Rice Vanguards.
Si Wilson Baltasar, hirap na may baba yung bola. Muntik pang maagaw na naman ang Nueva Ecija as they continue to amp up the pressure. Shaq Alanes against his former teammate MJ Ayaay. And Ayaay just holding steady with his defense. Too much passing that time though by Nueva Ecija. Shaq Alanes thought about that free. Fouled hard by Will Macaloni.
At that time, a little bit too unselfish. Maybe trying to get into a little fun in that situation, because they got the ball on one end and you got 4 guys running down the side of the floor. And siguro nakita lang niya libre, hindi niya napansin na meron na palang defender doon.
I-review ng ating referees yung last foul na binigay ni Will Macaloni. Minute and 22 left. So just a regular foul against Will Macaloni. But Shaq Alanes was in the act. So he will shoot 2 free throws. I have a question for you, Coach Mike.
Wag lang mata.
Sige. Sa tingin mo, pareho ba ng barbero to si Shaq Alanes saka si Paulo Castro?
Siya nga ano.
May hairstyle
Pwede Kung itong si Shaq Alanes, hindi ko alam kung taga saan to Kung taga Parañaque area rin talaga, malamang.
Posible, no?
Pwede. Why not?
Ay matawag dyan, mullet ba tawag dyan? Yung long back tapos yung sideburns fade.
Alam mo, sa panahon namin, ang tawag lang dyan, long back.
Long back,
Long
okay.
back lang.
Na I'm sure, naging hairstyle mo rin dati, no?
At may mga patunay na ganyan.
Kailangan makita natin yung photo na yan, Coach Mike, ha?
Wag.
Hindi naman ikasisira ng pagkagandang lalaki ko yan, Coach Mike. Oo naman. Ito, Shaq Alanes. Kita mo, pareho nga ng hairstyle. Sila ni Shaq Alanes, who left it short from free, but Kent Giab getting the offensive rebound and the putback. Agad naman si Rob Celis sa kabila, nakapuntos, something, Parañaque. Ay mo mangyari yan, off a made basket, naskoran ka rin on the other side.
Correct. Kailangan makabalik talaga, makadepensa. Di porke nagkakaroon ka ng mga magandang opportunity to shoot from the outside, pahinga ka na pagdating sa kabila. And especially if you are going up against the Rice Vanguards.
Rob Celis called for that foul. Kim 5 tutungo sa 15-foot line. 13.4 seconds remaining here in our second frame. First free throw good. JC Marcelino. Pahinga muna dito sa pagtatapos ng ating pangalawang yugto. 5 na ipasok, parehong free throws. 57-32. Time winding down in the first half. JP Calvo.
Gotta take it.
And he takes it and makes it from downtown. Narinig ka yata, Coach Mike?
Pero alam ko si JP Calvo is not happy that he fumbled the ball, kasi alam niya may libre na kagad si John Wilson sa corner because he fumbled, naka-recover yung depensa ni John, and quick thinking rin naman sa side ni John Wilson, just pitching it back to JP for that good finish.
Nakita mo itong tatlong kaliweting ito. Sama-samang nag-contribute ng 26 points si JC Marcelino, Jam Ramito at si Will Macaloni.
And Will Macaloni being the only guy who started in that trio really shows you the kind of contribution that the Rice Vanguards have elevated coming off the bench.
Halftime score po natin, 60-32, Nueva Ecija on top of Parañaque by 28.
Is that for Diego?
Pero mintis, dalawang free throw, ha? Oh, what a pass! Makes Pascual setting up Kit Jimenez.
This has got to be one of the best games, if not the best game, that we've seen from Mix Pascual. Good decision making right there, but you got to catch up on the other end.
Defense once again. Ugsang at the post. Fading away. Oh my goodness, Reeve Ugsang. How about that?
If your key player is down, it's the role players that take over. Rivugsan this time, after giving that pass earlier to Mark Meneses, decides I'm gonna take on this one, taking on 3 white shirts, fading away, knocking it down to the delight of the Cebu Grays bench.
Sazon. Yambing will slam it down. Was actually asking for the lob. This guy could really jump out of a building. So si Rin William Bing.
Nice little pocket pass delivered there by Ives Sazon. It's still a slam for Rin William Bing. One hand plus as he brought back ang kanyang cornrows for this game.
You don't want to see going as well. Tandaan natin. Oh, what a move!
Grabe yun. And Mac Talio able to score.
In and out with the left hand and that right hand finish, leaving the defense on the dust. Mac Talio at his best, breaking down primary defenders.
Napako na sa 64 points. Rodel Gravera will slam it down with 2 hands.
He pretty much deserves that moment, itong si Rodel Gravera. He's just been a guy that they pull off the bench and always gives positive results. He never runs out of effort. Well, it's a foot race with Mix Pascual, and Mix was not gonna challenge that. And Rodel Gravera, a very quiet, athletic guy.
At nauuna siya dito. Farito will slam it down with his left hand.
He is in a zone. Christian Pajarito has made this Voyagers team and this Cuneta Astrodome as his playground tonight, showing us everything that he can do on the floor. Left hand jam puts in that exclamation on the kind of game that Christian has played.
Missing the second. Davao, chance to win it. Escobedo inside the pass. Escocio scores! 0.7 seconds remaining. Val City calls timeout. What a play there by the Davao Occidental Tigers.
Well, they quickly ran the other way and trying to attack, understanding the time that was left, that front end miss.
About a 4-second differential between shot and game clock.
That is enough time.
Roy Sumang attacks, pulling up. Money on a mid-range jumper.
They got time.
But still a 2-possession game. Hamon, a second remaining. And that's gonna do it. Zamboanga. How about Roy Sumang? Struggling all game long with his shot. Delivers the dagger for the Zamboanga Sikat.
The dagger against June Manso, no problem. Little step back, and that basket made just in time to give them the lead and eventually the game.
Basilan with 7 steals compared to 8 naman for Ilagan Isabela. Alex Cabagno drives baseline. Oh! Had that tough angle, but had the wits in English to will that one through.
Oh boy, what an incredible shot make by the Crunchman. Santos was trying to keep in step with him all the way to the hoop. Took it to the other side with a much more difficult attempt. Was able to use that offhand to keep Santos from getting in front of him. But still, the magnitude of the difficulty of the shot.
He has post start para dito sa Sarangani.
Oh! One-handed throwdown right out of the gates from Simon Sandagon.
Simon Sandagon in his last 2-3 games has really sent out a statement that he is laser focused to try and bring a title for the Quezon Huskers this season.
That came out of nowhere. Simon Sandagon announcing his entry. Nueva Ecija is in the lead 60-32 over the Parañaque Patriots. And Coach Mike, we saw how Nueva Ecija pretty much yung mindset nila dito, no? Yung talagang lineup nila kapag malakas pa rin yung kalaban nila, yun pa rin yung ginamit nila dito. And well, definitely they showed, especially in the second quarter, their might here against Parañaque.
Yeah, look, they really look to themselves how they perform regardless kung sino yung makakalaban nila, and we've seen it. You know, almost the same number of attempts pero so much better percentage para dito sa Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguard. 64% in one half is pretty high, but a lot of that really has to do with sharing the ball. That's why they are a plus 13 in terms of assists. They play a lot of defense, forced Parañaque to 10 turnovers, to which they got 19 points off of it. And we talked about the power of the bench of itong Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. And guys like Jammer Hamito, JC, JV, and even Christian Manaytay, including what I mentioned already, Byron Villarreal is really helping out off the bench para dito sa Rice Vanguards.
Well, JC Marcelino and Will Macaloni leading the way in scoring, 9 points each. Rob Celis, Jammer Hamito, tig 8 puntos. Shaq Alanes, as usual, siya talaga kumakamada dito. Coach Mike, 10 points. And Jomar Santos had 5 as well as Paulo Castro. Third quarter underway. Allen Papa, Shaq Alanes, Jomar Santos, Justin Padua, and Wilson Baltasar, the unit for the Patriots to open up the third.
And when you look at the shooting percentage of each player of the Parañaque Patriots, makita mo may mga starters nila, almost everyone shooting above 40%, which is pretty good. Santos, Padua, Castro, and even Shaq Alanes. But when we swing over to the bench, that's where the difference really is. And let alone yung mas maraming free throws para dito sa Rice Vanguards. And so they're not able to defend without fouling, and they send the Rice Vanguards a lot to the line.
30 na lamang dito ng Nueva Ecija. Faster of the game brought to you by Extreme Cool Air Conditioners. Ang Extreme magpalamig, free installation for split-type air conditioners.
Nagpapatuloy pa rin yung paghanap ng mga open na teammates. And this defense really of the Parañaque Patriots, you know, got a lot of gaps. And you always talk about energy when you try and defend, a lot of intensity. Pero right now, I guess, understanding where the Patriots are and how this game means really not much to them because they're pretty much out of it, outside of really trying to finish stronger. Hindi mo rin maano na yung energy is medyo mababa on the defensive end of the floor. But they are definitely trying their best. But this is really just a tough matchup against the Rice Vanguards.
Shaq Alanes fouled by JP Calvo while taking a 3. Always wily to si Shaq Alanes eh. Always finds ways to get himself to the free throw line, fish for those fouls. At sabi mo nga kanina eh, natuklasan mo na no paano kung sino ba talaga yung nanggaya sa kanilang dalawa ni Paulo Castro sa kanilang hairstyle. Sino ba talaga?
Base sa ating mga mga informants sa baba. When you say sa baba, dahil nandito kami sa taas ng stage. And the course pretty much down there. Ang sabi ni Paulo Castro, siya raw ang naunang nagpagupit ng ganyan. Ginaya lang ni Shaq.
Sinalpak! Ganon-ganon lang ni Rob Celis.
Oh, man. You know, one kid is gonna be happy seeing that. It's my son, Riley Perez.
Dexter, great move of the game, born for greatness.
Oh, really just that side of the floor. Nobody even stopping that drive by Rob Celis. And Rob says, meron pa tayong lundag. We still got that hops for Rob Celis.
68-34, Nueva Ecija in cruise control.
Nagbabalik ang MPBL. Aside from his exceptional skills, one vital characteristic that Robbie Celis has is his mental toughness. I had a bit of a heart-to-heart talk conversation with him earlier at nakwento niya nga sa akin, hindi lang pala basketball ang nagpatatag sa kanya. Robbie grew up with no parents, so he had to be mentally strong for himself to begin with. He explained to me how hard it was for him growing up, looking after himself, making efforts to survive and succeed. Kaya sabi nga niya, ang pressure sa basketball, wala yan. Mas dapat natatakot tayo sa pressure ng buhay. As he added, nag-start ako from zero, but he did not let his situation consume him, but instead, it motivated him. Back to you guys.
Well, that was a very heartwarming story. Maraming salamat, Andre. No? And, well, Coach Mike, I won't pretend that I could relate to what Rob Celis went through, but boy, it really nurtured him to be the man that he is. He has kids also who are playing basketball, and may I add, playing at an exceptional level in the youth leagues. And grabe yung naging journey nito ni Rob Celis.
That just really gives you more admiration for Rob Celis.
Ooh.
Oh, there. That's Jasper Ayay. That's why we were getting free throws here. A little arm extend and left hand.
MJ Ayay. Dating magkaampi yung dalawang yan, ha?
Talaga?
Oo, sa LPU, nag-abot yan.
Oh.
Si MJ at si Wilson. Daming LPU boys dito eh. So si Wilson Baltasar, inabot pa niya si JC and JV during his last year. Shaq Alanes, unfortunately, hindi na sila nag-abot ni JC and JV sa NCAA. Pero, nung last year ni Shaq, nasa Team B pa daw, si JC sa si JV.
Interesting.
Diba?
Interesting. Yan. Dahil sa... This is a lull that's slowing down the energy of this game. In as much as ang laki na ng kalamangan na ito ng Rice Vanguards, talagang bumababa yung enerhiya ng mga players. This lull hopefully does not impact on how the performance of the Rice Vanguards have been. We've been here for quite a while and halos hindi natin ma-resume yung action after those free throws taken. You gotta understand though what this lull is about.
Oh, why? Looks like they're trying to figure something out here. Head of Security, Rudy Distrito. Head of Operations, Emer Oreta. JC, JV enjoying themselves with Jam Ramito in the middle. Okay. So after that brief lull, we return to action. Parañaque with the basketball. Down by 33 points. Pressure applied again by Nueva Ecija. Bola natapik. Bahagya. Shakalane sa atake. Mintis. Rebound by Will Macaloni. MJ Ayaay for free. Will bounce off the rim. Rebound, Tweety Santos. Si Allen Papa may tangan ng bola laban kay JP Calvo. Tweety Santos elects to take the free. Short again. John Wilson bounce pass to a running MJ Ayaay who fails to convert. Rob Celis was fouled and he'll head to the line for 2 shots.
Somehow pansin mo doon sa take-off ni Jasper, ay medyo no? Alanganin eh. Yung kanyang take-off.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL.
Sorry, that's Jasper pala. my friend. I got a friend from the US, his name is Jasper. So Jasper, yeah, yung take-off nga niya is medyo alangan nga. Hindi, parang tinignan niya yung landing spot eh, kung meron siyang malalandingan na maayos eh. Thankfully for him, hindi siya, there was Rob Celis to secure that rebound.
3-point shot won't go for Shaq Alanes. Calvo.
There you go.
Catch and shoot 3 by John Wilson. Ball ends up with Jesper Ayaay. JP Calvo reloads in and out on the free.
A good positioning on that rebound. And Padua able to put Will Macaloni behind him. And it's important also for JP Calvo to be able to knock down shots like those because really pretty much when on their deep playoff runs, they are gonna need him to make those shots.
Agawan sa bola, Padua nasa kanya pa rin at the right corner. Skips it to Wilson Baltasar. Jacks up a 3. Short again. Wilson outlet to MJ Ayaay. Led on with his left shoulder and backs it in for 2 more points.
Well, one of the reasons kung bakit mababa yung shooting nito Parañaque is pretty much the 3-point shot is the only shot that's been available for them. Hindi sila makapasok sa loob. So even if they get inside, the tag and the help defense really coming into play. And they're not so big on finding the next guy that's available for him to make a play out of it. Kaya nahihirapan na makakonvert ng maganda.
Same spot. This time, he makes it from downtown, MJ Ayaay.
Really token defense right there by the Patriots. Too easy. Too easy for 2 things. 1, easy for JP Calvo to try and go downhill and get to that open post area. 2, too easy because there was nobody holding on to Jesper Ayaay as he held that 3. So, napakadaling pasa yon para kay JP Calvo and such a good take for Jesper Ayaay.
Coach Mike, Takwarens na ito.
Oo nga. Takwarens na. And,
Ang edad mo lang to.
Oh yes, minus 10. No, it's really just ilang points lang ang na-score dito ng Parañaque. There are only 3 points. Finally, another shot.
Anong oras na ba? 5:04, bukas pa ang bangko para kay Justin Padua.
Pero babawiin din kagad. Pero nagmintis yung tira na yan ni Ayaay.
Sa loob, ang idol ni Riley Perez na si Rob Celis nakapuntos na naman.
Oo nga. Well, bigyan na lang natin ng context yung kwento na yan.
Oh, sige.
Si Riley is my youngest son, and I was talking to, well, he went to me and talked about it. You see Rob Celis right there with that good finish underneath. And so the other night he went to me, my youngest son, and he says, "Dad, you know who my idol is?" And I said, "That's easy. Your idol is Kobe Bryant, and because you always wear number 8." He said, "No, I mean local." He said, "No, who? What's the last letter of our last name? It's Z. How many? What's my number? 8. That is Rob Celis. That's my idol." So I was a bit surprised because he's been talking a lot of, you know, how he really idolizes Rob Celis ever since then. Ano, kaya makikita mo the value of, much as the report of Andrea earlier, good basketball player. I'd really like for him to also take on the kind of character that Rob Celis is. And I did talk to Rob earlier and told him about it, and he says na he's surprised na siya yun. And clearly for young players like Riley to be looking up to Rob Celis, to me as a dad, really means a lot.
And I'm sure he's pretty much honored. Kaya lang kilala natin yan si Rob, no? Na ganda na naging journey niya as a basketball player, as a proud father. And I'm
Correct.
sure you can relate to that, Coach Mike.
Pretty much. And I'm even surprised at that report earlier of Andrea na pretty much sabi ba na walang parents that he grew up with, and you know, turning out to be the kind of person that he is and a high character guy, eh talaga nga namang mapapa-admire ka sa isang Rob Celis.
Inabot pa niyan sila sila Ray Parks.
Yes, sa
Sa
NU.
NU,
Right.
oo. And his game has certainly aged like fine wine, especially here in the MPBL.
Oh yeah, and when you talk about fine wine, one of his teammates in RTU, Coach Goy Bagares, actually, if they have a chance and Rob has games in the South, these guys, former teammates in RTU, have wine, and you know, they talk a lot of basketball. And Coach Goy is a coach of the 18-under team of the San Pedro Spartans for the junior MPBL.
Sa loob, Jammer Amito, 2 more points, 83-40.
Na Jammer, we talked about it. He too, napakahalaga para dito sa Rice Vanguards. Ang daming quality left-handed players nitong Rice Vanguards, ano?
Oo.
Jammer, Will, the twins, Christian. Oh my.
So pang 1/3 ng roster nila, kaliwete pala, no?
Correct.
Ikaw ba, Coach Mike, kaliwete ka rin?
Hindi.
Si Riley, kaliwete.
Si Riley lefty. Actually, lahat ng kids namin left-handed except for me. Even si Maui, my eldest, is left-handed.
Oo nga, nakikita ko si Justin kaliwete nga eh.
They take it from their mom. Left-handed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sa panel, sino bang kaliwete?
Happy.
I'm sure. Oo nga pala.
Si Happy.
How could I forget?
Ito na naman yung fast break nitong Rice Vanguards. Yeah, they really just been relentless. That is 34-0 in fast breaks alone.
Oo nga, no?
Look at that number.
Jammer Amito, wala pang mintes from the field.
Another one on its way.
JC, dire-diretso, 2 more points. 47-point lead.
The Rice Vanguards are really pouring it on. Not minding really kung sino yung kaharap nila. And that is just championship mindset.
Yeah. Not minding the quality of the opponent,
Correct.
the score, even the time. They're playing at a relentless pace. That hop step into a layup by JC Marcelino plus a foul and a bonus free throw coming up.
And it doesn't help that JC has a twin brother. Kasi mako-confuse ka sa scouting. Ito talaga nga naman kita mo yung distansya na nakita niya para maka-finish doon right down the middle.
Nakawala sa depensa. At si Paolo Castro, pinaltan muna dito. Tingin niya same foot pero parang hindi
Oh, parang hindi naman.
Parang lumapag dalawang pa Yan yung inaano ni Paolo Castro, yung gusto niyang klaruhin
kanina.
sa sideline.
Correct. This should be a Spain action here. No.
Ken Giab, out of control. Outlet pass. JC.
man.
Hamito with his right hand with a flush.
Kaliwete baka mo, Ken and Mike. Ito, kanan na slam dunk para sa inyo.
Jammer with a hammer. 94-42. Approaching the 2-minute mark of the third period. Ganda nung pagkaawala ni Allen Papa pero supalpal pa rin ni Billy Robles. Sidestep. 2 points na naman kay JV Marcelino.
And if you take that both ends of the floor action, that's pretty much the game. I mean, you're the Rice Vanguards. You force turnovers. You score on one end. Patriots get their own run. They try to get into the paint, but they are defended. And nakita mo yung hirap nung tira na yun. Kaya nag-result dito sa fast break na ito where you see that hammer finished from Jammer Hamito. And then when they went back, yun na yung nahirapan rin makascore inside the paint itong Patriots.
96-43.
Tsaka ang daming teams ngayon, alam mo, Ken. Lalo na for the contenders. I strongly feel, no question about it, teams would have wing scorers, no? Athletic big man that can actually stretch, play 3 all the way to 5, maybe 4 for the most part. Guys like Christian Manaytay, Rob Celis, they can play 2 up to 4. At certain moments, even up to 5. Pero I feel it's the point guard spot that plays a huge part of maybe a good indicator of how far you're gonna run deep in the playoffs.
First free throw good for Rob Celis. Billy Robles.
Una-una, magkaiba ng kulay. Medyo moreno si Rob.
Parang Rob kasi.
Oo nga.
Itong free throw na ito, tit sa atin Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Well, to your point, Coach Mike, the top 4 teams in the MPBL, Abra, Marwin Taiwan, San Juan, you have Orden Wabar.
Correct. Sama mo pa si JC Collier.
JC Culyar, tama. Sa Nueva Ecija, the Marcelino twins, you have JP Calvo.
Correct.
With Quezon, you got guys like
Diego Dario.
LJ Gonzalez and Diego Dario.
That's right. And so, ako talaga, my personal take is that point guard is gonna play a huge part on how your team will perform. Not just on the leadership end. It's really productions on both the offensive side and even how they, perform on the defensive end of the floor. Kaya nga sinasabi natin kanina, itong paglipat sa being a starter nito ni JP Calvo, napakalaking bagay talaga because you are giving good, quality point guards off the bench with JC coming off it.
May nakagandahan kasi kahit pa imbis na starter sila off the bench, yung intensity, yung production, hindi rin nag-taper off .
Imagine this, you start your quality point guard to start the game, to set the tone. And the Rice Vanguards start JP Calvo. And then come mid of the game, when they've actually ran the entire length of the floor, you bring in the twins, JC and JB, who are both turbo jets, who are both very forceful downhill. And not just being selfish and even allowing other teammates to run the floor.
Coach Arvin Bonleon for the Davao Occidental Tigers. That's gonna be a battle of former champions. Davao Occidental versus the 2-time defending champs, the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. That's coming up next after this one.
And they're in a tight situation as well, trying to make their best finish could most probably be 9th in the South.
Sa Davao Occidental.
Sa Davao, That's, on the assumption that they will sweep their remaining games.
Third quarter comes to a close. Nueva Ecija just pretty much dominating this ball game from the get-go. Highlights of the game brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration.
And really, there's just 3 stat lines that you're gonna look at if you wanna understand how this game has went. It's turnovers, 15 for the Parañaque Patriots, where Nueva Ecija got 27 points of it, and fast break points, 45-0 in that department, all Nueva Ecija Rice Bangers.
45 fast break points. My goodness. That's almost double the average of the #1 team in the league. And that speaks volumes here for Nueva Ecija. Just totally dominating Parañaque, 102-48. Gixer fan of the game, born for greatness. Happy to have you with us here. And just want to give a quick shout out to Valyanika Kunanan, who's watching right now. Tama ba, Coach?
Yeah, all the way from Alberta, Canada. And always, one of the prime supporters of the Rice Vanguards.
Madaling araw pa doon, ibig sabihin.
Oo, nagpupuyat yan sila. And every game ng Rice Vanguards, hindi sila nagmimintis.
Byron Villarias continues his scorching shooting from the outside. Quarter scoring natin. Kita nyo naman kung gaano ka-dominante itong Nueva Ecija. 28-14, 32-18, 42-16. Pinaiigting nila yung depensa pero yung production nila pataas pa ng pataas dito, Coach Mike.
Oo, kasi yung mapapansin mo, yung puntos nitong Parañaque halos hindi na tumawid sa 20 dahil nga sa depensa rin nitong Rice Vanguards. And they are turning those turnovers into points for them.
Shot by Shaq Alanes, no. JV getting the pass back from Christian Manaytay. 47 pass break point already, Coach Mike.
Yes. And the thing is, it's not really about purely on turnovers. It's also because of their efficient shot making. And every time they miss, it's the Rice Vanguards running. And this is classic example of that. They try and find opportunities for them to score in the open nang hindi pa nakaset up yung depensa.
Billy Robles sa loob. At may timeout na hiniling ang Parañaque.
Don and Kenneth right there.
Hitosi medyo busy.
Oo nga.
Nakaupo. Pero ito, may timeout tayo. Magbabalik kami. Fan of the game is brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL.
Oh, junior MPBL ba yan ng Nueva Ecija?
Eh,
Nice.
parang hindi.
Parang
Parang jersey talaga
Oo.
ng Rice Vanguards. Head of Operations, Emereta. Head of Security, Rudy Distrito. Some of the fans of the One Bataan Risers nandito na, no? Mamaya, Bataan kalaban ang Bacolod in our main game.
Oh, napakahalaga rin niyang laban na yan mamaya para dito sa Bataan. Well, pretty much 9 and 10 na yun ang pwestuhan para dito sa Bataan. kinakailangan pa rin, similar to how the Rice Vanguards are performing right now. You gotta close out your regular season strong.
Tyrone Chan getting his first appearance here. Villarias launches and buries a 3-point shot.
Actually, 3 player na lang hindi nakaka-score dito sa sa Rice Vanguards. Tyrone Chan, Bobby Balucanag, and Clark Derigue.
Yung dalawa, well, si Clark Derigue na lang, hindi pa pinapasok dito.
Yes.
Allen Papa with a free. 112-54.
Well, this is very similar to that strong finish in the second half by the Rice Vanguards when they went up against Quezon City, but more or less nakikita mo talaga just merciless regardless kung sino yung kalaban.
Wilson Baltasar airballs the free rather. 112-54. Well, moving forward, Coach Mike, Nueva Ecija, paulit-ulit natin pinag-uusapan ito. It's championship or bust for them. And if you recall that loss, they had their last loss against Quezon, tayo yung nag-cover the following week.
Correct.
Same venue, Palayan City. Boss Bong Cuevas was there. He was interviewed at the half. And he was pretty clear about his expectations for Nueva Ecija. Ang gusto niya, tinuldukan nga niya yung interview na yun by saying na gusto nga niya madagdagan ng banner, isa pang banner doon sa kanilang venue sa Nueva Ecija Coliseum. Well, they're showing that this early, they are trying to prepare for another grinding push towards the top. And nakikita rin natin, Coach Mike, hindi yan magiging madali. Even round 1, the teams from number 4 to number 7.
Oh, yes. Yes. I mean,
Kabilang dun, baka posibleng makalaban nila in the first round.
yes. And you talk about Pasay, Caloocan, Pangasinan, Pampanga. Kung ikaw ang magiging number 2 team, those are most probably the teams that you will go up against.
Justin Padua scores. Ganda ng pasa naman ni Allen Papa doon. Tyrone Chando tried to recover but Padua just able to power through.
Yes.
Completes the 3-point play. 112-59. Bobby Balucanag, tubong Lupao, Nueva Ecija. Naipasa niya kay JV. Sablay. Allen Papa, may tangan ng bola against JV Marcelino. Parañaque. It looks like they will suffer another loss. But Shaq Alanes continues to score. He now has 22 points. Ganun-ganun lang. Making it look effortless. Bank shot. Former LPU Pirate Shaq Alanes, 23, 4, and 5. 50-point lead. Byron. Oh man. It's been a dead shot today from beyond the arc. Villarias with 14 points. (115-62), approaching the halfway point of the fourth period. Lob attempt, Mintis. Shot by Shaq Alanes. It will bounce out. Byron Villarias. Susubok muli sa 3. Isa na naman. Galing kay Big Bang Toto.
Oh, another steal. This is not how you would want to end a quarter or the game if you're the Patriots, but this is definitely how you want to end the game if you're the Rice Vanguards. A couple of clean threes from Byron Villarias.
Pretty much all Nueva Ecija. And walang kakupas-kupas na Byron Villarias.
At saka kabilaan yan. Kanina sa kaliwa, ito naman sa kanan. Parehong dalawang dilaw na nasa tapat niya pero walang problema. Byron makes those couple of threes.
Next game of Rizal, actually their lone remaining game, and that will be an important one on September 27 versus Rizal Centro Mall Golden Coolers. How do you see that matchup playing out, Coach Mike?
Well, napaka-importante niyan. I mean, yung laban na yan with the Rizal team, I think could be an indicator of how that's actually the toughest team that they will go up against to end the season to end the regular season for Nueva Ecija. And so that game would, in my opinion, would really matter because that sends them off into the playoffs, which is a good start for the Rice Vanguards before they get into that important games postseason.
Lagderigue makes good on the free throw, 124-62. Nueva Ecija pretty much doubling up the output of Parañaque.
So si ano na lang, si Tyrone, si Kenneth. Well, si Kenneth is not playing, right? He's on street clothes. So
Sila na lang.
Sila na lang, si Bobby na lang, tsaka siya. Tsaka si Tyrone.
Wilson Baltasar drains a free. 124-65.
Oh no. You saw it already.
Ilang tres na yan? 23? 23 points?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Pass inside. Bobby Balucanag nakapuntos na para sa Nueva Ecija.
Yeah, inaantay na lang natin dito si
Sino na lang ba?
Tyrone na lang ba? Si Tyrone ba yung nakascore? Si Bobby?
Hindi, si Bobby.
Si Bobby. So si Tyrone na lang.
Matulis yung tira ni Allen Papa. Under 3 minutes left.
Ito na yung rim run ni Tyrone.
Allen Papa called for that foul. JP Calvo nasa loob. Former Parañaque Patriot. I mean, it's very unfortunate for Parañaque though after breaking through last season. And again, there were a lot of things beyond their control.
Yes.
But yun nga eh, nakakalungkot that there's a possibility that they could have their worst finish in franchise history. But, you know, this guy still piling up the points. Shaq Alanes with 25 markers.
Well, I feel the window has really, you know, they lost a lot of talent in the window. They lost J. Boy Solis, they lost CBC, JP Calvos moved to the Rice Vanguards. You know, amongst the other things, Capovres also, who has moved to Zamboanga. And considerable, you know, mga pieces yan. And not to mention yung paglipat rin ni Coach Mike sa Gigit over to Caloocan. And, you know, a lot of roster changes. At some point, the Patriots got coached by Stephen Mopera.
Oh, Stephen
right?
Mopera.
Coach Stephen was the one who handled it until you know, the move over to Coach Melky. And Coach Melky Villanueva, having been a part of the coaching staff of the Quezon Huskers, I think a couple of years back, and really had to make do with the players that he had. He tried to bring in si Ket Giap and alongside to sila Shaq Alanes to help out in the roster for the Patriots, but it's just been a tough run latter part of the season para dito sa Patriots.
Finally, all players have scored for Nueva Ecija. Tyron Chan with a basket. All but the final score na lang ang hinihintay dito, 133-70.
At saka mahalaga rin yan, yung lahat ng mga players is makapuntos. At least, feel good games. Kailangan yan, especially by your bench players.
Byron, sablay. Tyron Chan, short stab. It will roll out, but look at Bobby Balucana climbed the ladder on that one.
Those hops are still in those legs for Bobby. Actually, dalawa Superman dito di ba? Bobby Balucanag and Billy Robles.
Oo nga. The Ilonggo Superman.
Yes.
Well, Nueva Ecija still has that outside shot of finishing at number 1.
And look at that roster right there on the bench. Billy, Jammer, Will, Christian Manaytay. Tatlong kaliwete. Magkakatabi. Christian's left-handed, right?
Oh, kaliwete yan. Yung prospect kasi for the North Division teams is that if Abra finishes at number 1, they will have home court advantage for the rest of the playoffs. And that's very critical when you consider that since they joined the league last season, Coach Mike, they haven't
Correct.
lost at home. They won 3 games in Season 6. They won 2 games. We covered both of those games in Bangged. At tinalo nila doon, mabibigat. Pangasinan and Quezon. And yun yung kinakarap ng mga kupunan sa North kung gugustuhin nilang talunin ang Abra in a playoff series.
Oo, correct. And again, yung positioning ngayon is nagmamatter na. Lalo na with the outcome of that game yesterday with Abra and San Juan. More or less, teams do sa baba nung top 10 natin would now understand kung sino more or less yung makakatapat nila if they get past.
And this guy, kaya nga nang sabi ni Miss Andrea Indicio, kahit pa matagal na mawala, parang hindi na nawawala yung kanyang shooting prowess. Byron Villarias, our best player of the game, finishing the game with 23 points with those barrage of threes, helping Nueva Ecija grab another win and beating Parañaque convincingly 138-72 and still holding that number 2 spot in the North. Let's go courtside to Miss Andrea Andicio.
Maraming salamat, Ken. First of all, Byron, congratulations. Ito nga yung pangalawa mong laro after ng iyong injury, pero pinakita mo sa amin na talagang hindi nawawala yung laro mo. Actually, that's one thing na hinahangaan ng mga teammates mo sa'yo, na kahit gaano ka katagal mapahinga, kahit gaano ka katagal na hindi maglaro, ganun pa rin yung shooting at laro mo pag bumalik ka.
Unang-una, nagpapasalamat ako kay God sa binigyan niyang lakas at galing ngayong gabi. Yun lang, nagpapasalamat din ako sa coaches, sa teammate ko, sa tiwala, kaya siguro ganun yung laro ko today.
At nabanggit din sa akin kanina ni Coach Don na hinahanda niya na kayo mentally and physically para sa playoffs. Sa tingin mo, gaano na ba ka-prepared ang Nueva Ecija para sa playoffs?
Siguro marami pa kaming kailangan dagdagan pa sa namin, sa team namin. Marami pa kaming kailangan gawin, marami pa kaming kailangan paghandaan pagdating ng playoffs.
And I'm sure kaya nyo naman yung i-address very, very soon. Meron ka ba mga gustong batiin o pasalamatan? Go ahead.
Thank you sa Cuevas family, kay Boss Bong, kay Ma'am Bian, kay Ma'am Ryan, kay Boss Ivan, at sa buong Nueva Ecija. Thank you sa support, at sa wife ko si Beverly, lagi nakasupport, sa family ko, sa Silay, sa kapatid ko, and sa mother-in-law ko, kay mama sa Rojas, sa bayaw ko, at sa family ko rin sa Cavite, and sa wife ni Billy nagpapabati, and sa lahat ng hindi ko nabati, binabati ko yung lahat. Thank you.
Once again, that was Byron Villarias, our best player of the game. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Andrea. And up next, a battle between two former champions. The Davao Occidental Tigers, Season 3 champs, going up against the two-time defending champions, the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. Wag po yung aalis mga kaliga. Magbabalik pa po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.